Hey everyone, thanks for joining in on another practice with Coda Yoga Studio. It's a nice invigorating practice today. This practice is going to be a nice combination of both a variation on a different branch of yoga known as Ashtanga Yoga, as well as a combination of my own personal practice, both kind of combined, mixed together to develop some opening of the front body and create a stronger mindset and strength of will and a sense of strong self-discipline. So we'll be working some front body openers, some back bends, and we shorten it up a little bit just to make sure that you can fit it in. So we recommend having a couple blocks and a strap or towel for some support with back bends. So let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and start your music if you are using it. And today, a little differently, I'd like to have you start standing up at the top of your yoga mat. So take a second just to make your space. Come on up. And we'll get into our practice simply by standing, but slowly. So hands to heart or hands at your sides. Take a second. If it feels okay, you can close the eyes. Let the head stack right over the ribs right over the hips. Feel the feet ground into the earth. Start to feel the sense of breath move very easily in and out through your nose. Imagine grounding and space. Now inhale, stretch your arms up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold, come on down. Inhale, lift your head, halfway lift. Step your feet back into plank pose. Exhale fully, take a full breath in. And exhale, lower half or all the way down, Chaturanga Dandasana. And inhale, press to Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale back into downward facing dog. 5 rounds of breath. Be compassionate, be soft with yourself. This is just the first round of movement. No need to go hard. No need to force your body into postures. Just let yourself feel and experience, especially these first few minutes of class. Another round. And exhale, look forward. Start to tiptoe or step the feet up to the top of your mat. Come back to halfway lift. Exhale, fold, and release. Rise to standing, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, stretch the arms overhead, look up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, head up, look forward. Step to plank, breathe in. Exhale, lower half or all the way. Open your chest, come to Cobra or up dog. Press back, downward facing dog. 5 rounds of breath, in and out through the nose. And exhale completely as you look forward. Step or tiptoe up to the top of your mat, right into your inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, head down, heart down. Inhale to stand, reach the arms overhead, feel your feet press down as you reach. Hands to heart. Inhale, stretch the arms overhead, look up. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, chest up, look forward. Step or hop to plank, lower down, Chaturanga. Inhale, rise. And exhale into down dog. In this work of practice around self-discipline and commitment to practice and firing up our motivation, our determination, you'll get a little less instruction verbally from me, and you'll be encouraged to tune into your breath. Look forward. Take a step or a hop to the top of your mat. Come back to halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Rise to stand. Lift the arms. Hands to heart. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step or hop, lower down and pause. Inhale to rise. Downward facing, exhale. Find and tune into your breath. Sense of equal balance in the inhale and exhale. Whether you're working with the rhythm of your breath as your guide, or you're working with the rhythm of the music as your guide. Tune into one area of focus. Find your toes, look forward. Step or float to the top, come to half lift. Fold and exhale. Rise to standing, reach the arms overhead. Hands to heart center. Inhale, stretch the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, return. Halfway lift, look forward. Plant the hands, step or jump back, lower down. Inhale, rise. Big exhale, belly in, down dog. Gaze in between the legs. Root through the inner arch of your foot. Feel the inner thigh hug in toward each other. Get lighter in the inner hip bone. Reach the hips up and back. Ground into your hands and draw your navel in. Look forward. Step or float to the top, come to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to standing, reach the arms up and overhead. Hands to heart. Surya Namaskar B. Start with the legs a little closer together. Bend the knees, drop the hips, extend your arms alongside the ears and close the palms if possible. Chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, head up, heart up. Step or jump back. Inhale, chest up. Downward facing dog, exhale. Now the leg is not going to lift, it's going to come straight forward. So look at your legs. Draw your right foot in between your hands without a one-legged down dog. Lift right up into warrior one, palms touch, gaze up. Hands down, step it on back to chaturanga, bend the elbows. Inhale, pull the heart forward. Downward facing, exhale, good work. The left leg comes straight forward. Spin the back heel. Inhale and rise. Exhale. Hands come down. Plant. Step back and lower. Inhale, heart up. Exhale, down dog. Breathe. Good. Think thigh bones back. Heart back. Hips high. Strong inhale to find the tiptoes. Keep the hips high. Press down, step or jump. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, drop the hips. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Hands to heart, come to standing. Inhale, round two, chair pose. Drop the hips, bend the knees, lift the gaze, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, look forward, plant the hands. Step or float, lower down. Inhale, lift the chest. Down dog, exhale. Pick up the right foot, step it right forward, drop your left heel. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Hands to the floor, plant, step back, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, down dog. Left foot goes right forward in between the hands. Spin the back heel down. Inhale, warrior 1. Lift the arms. Exhale, hands down, take it back, lower. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, down dog. 5 strong breaths. Inhale, find the tiptoes, look forward, step or hop, find halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, release. Bend the knees, drop the hips, Utkatasana, lift the chest, reach the palms up. Hands to heart, come to standing. One more round of Surya B. Inhale, Utkatasana, drop the hips, bend the knees. Uttanasana, forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, look forward, plant your hands right into it, Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, lift the chest. Down dog, exhale. Right foot goes right forward, drop the left heel. Inhale, warrior one, reach up. Hands come down, take it back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, dog pose. Without lifting the leg, left foot comes right forward. Take it into warrior one. Spin the heel, lift the chest. Exhale, hands down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Breathe out. Inhale, tone the thighs, lift the chest. Exhale, dog pose. Big inhales, big exhales, and down dog. Regulate your breathing patterns. Set your gaze to one spot. Firm your intentions for why you're here. Another strong breath. Lift to the toes. Exhale, look forward. Step or hop. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Exhale. Utkatasana, chair pose. Inhale, lift up. Hands to heart. Come to standing and release. Stay at the top of your yoga mat. Separate the feet about hip width distance. Hands to the waist. Padangusthasana. Bend the knees. Come on down. Forward fold. Catch a hold onto the big toes with the index and the middle fingers and lengthen your spine. As you exhale, pull onto the toes just enough that you can meet a little resistance and draw the chest down into your forward fold a little deeper. Find a balance between resting and rooting into the feet, but also coming out of the heels just enough to turn the core on to take most of the stability in this forward fold. Lengthen your chest, straighten the arms. Slide the palms underneath the feet, Padahastasana. Exhale, bend the elbows and fold in again. Without there being any movement here, there is action. The action is as though you are pulling the hands out from underneath the feet. Again, hip bones go a little bit further forward over the heels. Relax the nape of the neck. Lengthen your chest. Bring the hands to your waist and press up to standing. Return the hands at your side. Step the feet back in. Inhale, stretch the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, come down. Look forward, plant the hands, step or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, lift the heart. Down dog on the exhalation. Again, look back at your feet. We're going to do this without stretching the leg up and back, just the foot. All right, so hover the right foot above the earth. Step it forward in between the hands. Lunge pose. Broaden your stance a little bit to set up for crescent. And then we'll lift all the way up into our standing lunge, crescent pose. Good. Pause here for a second in your crescent pose. Make sure you find your balance first before we fine-tune this. Now bring the hands to the front of the pelvic structure. Imagine you are taking a hold onto the front hip points called the ASIS, the bony structures that protrude forward, and you pull them up toward the navel. Take the hands then to your low belly and think about pulling the navel up and in, almost like you're drawing the front of the belly toward the back of the spine. And then from there, reach the arms back up overhead and start to press back into your left heel a little more, re-straightening into the left leg. And draw the right shin bone forward just a little bit deeper. Good. Really working a nice front body stretch. Hold that. Take the right hand to your hip. Side bend to your right. On your exhale, go into revolved crescent, left elbow to outer right thigh. Tuck that elbow in, but lift the left ribs off of the thigh. Get as much space as you can. Take palms or fists together and press them down so they're toward the sternum. Your sternum is lifting up toward the thumbs. Good. Then press your left thigh up toward the ceiling. Feel how that length goes down the front of the left hip. Breathe deeply. Return the hands to the mat. Straighten the right leg. Step your back foot in a couple inches, drop the heel down. So just a miniature pyramid pose here to set up for our next twist. Plant the left hand to block or the earth. Turn your chest and start to lift your right arm up to the ceiling. Parivrtta Trikonasana, revolved triangle pose. Squeeze the upper inner thigh. Maintain straight legs. And spin the chest a little bit more as you reach straight up. And exhale, return the hand to the floor, bend the knee, come to lunge. Step right foot back, Chaturanga Dandasana, or you can just skip it, go to down dog. Move through your Vinyasa, those of you taking it. And we'll all meet in our down dog again. Look back at your feet. We'll start there. So again, just take another breath here in down dog, preparing our left side. And press into the hands, start to hover the left foot above the earth. Take the knee into your ribs and step the left foot forward, lunge. Press down into the legs, rise, crescent pose, all the way up. Again, take just a second to find your balance. Stay up high into the back tip toes. Draw forward into the left shin and bring the hands to the front of the pelvis. Okay, if you can find the bony structures, the ASIS, go ahead and feel those there. Think about pulling the front hip bones up toward the lower ribs. The back knee might even bend a little bit. And then the navel draws in, hands to the lower abdominal. Pull the front of the belly toward the back of the ribs. And then carefully send the arms up and almost reluctantly start to re-straighten the back leg. Draw the left shin bone forward just a little bit more. Deepen into that front hip stretch. Hold that there. We'll prepare for our twist. Left hand comes onto your left hip. Side bend to your left first. Exhale, turn, revolved crescent pose. Again, palms can come together at heart, or you can work with one or both fists, working the knuckles together. And again, think about re-straightening the back thigh, sending that thigh bone up toward the ceiling. Good. Reach out through the top of the head and back through the center of your back heel. Strong exhales as you hold this. Squeeze the inner thigh. Turn and place the hands down to the floor. Straighten the left leg. Step the back foot in, spin the heel down. Small pyramid pose to set up. Now plant the right hand to block or earth. Squeeze the inner thigh and turn the chest. Revolve triangle pose. Triangle asks our legs to be straight here. If we're feeling pain or discomfort in the back knee or ankle, the back heel can lift a little bit. Good. Maintain with your core muscles, so front of the navel draws in and turns. Good, deep breath. Left hand down. Bend the knee and step it on back to Chaturanga or down dog. Big inhale, big exhale. We're going to build on this work a little bit. It's going to seem very familiar. Starting in downward facing dog. Press into the hands. Draw the navel in. Feel the heart move back toward your thighs and your hip bones lift up tall. Hold that. Start to hover the right foot above the earth and step it forward. Spin your left heel to the floor. Widen your feet a little bit for Warrior One. And reach the arms up. Warrior One a little bit differently today. Spin the palms so they face one another. And start to rotate your left palm behind you. Bend the elbow, take the hand behind the nape of the neck, and catch a hold onto your left elbow with your right hand. Hug the left elbow in toward the left temple. And draw the elbow back to get some space in the tricep. As you lift up through the elbow, drop down into your right hip. Move the shin bone forward and press into your left foot. Send the heart up and take another strong breath. Reach the arms straight back up. And bring the hands to heart center. Carefully lift your back heel, spin on your toes. Draw your belly in, front ribs to back ribs. Shift your body weight forward for warrior 3. And take a second, make sure right toes are aimed forward. Both hip points, those hip points you worked in crescent pose, are facing down. Reach back through the left toes, reach forward through the heart. Another breath, chest almost like locust pose. Keep it lifted. Step it on back, find crescent. Arms are going to reach up overhead. And straighten the front leg. And spin your toes to face the long edge of your yoga mat. And this time, take your right palm behind your neck, so opposite hand. Left hand grabs the right elbow. Keep the legs wide. Start to control your forward fold. Holding this tricep stretch or this half Gomukhasana arms. Keep the chest opening. Try not to let this become passive. Try not to just fold and drop down, especially those of you with a little more length in your legs and in your spine might be able to ground your left forearm. That's okay, but still remain active as you reach your right fingertips down your spine. And inhale, start to lift all the way back up, strong lift. Open the arms, turn your right leg forward and cartwheel the hands down to lunge. Step it back to chaturanga slowly. Then inhale to rise and exhale to dog pose. Another round of breath. Press into your hands. Weight shift into your right foot, hover your left foot, draw the knee into your ribs and step it through. Spin the right heel to the floor and make your way up into warrior 1 on your left side. Do the good work you did here in crescent pose, but now in warrior 1 with your heel down. Flip the right palm, take it behind the neck, and catch a hold onto the right elbow with your left hand. As you work the tricep up, drop down into your left inner thigh and move the shin bone forward. As you press back into your right leg, lift your chest. Breathe deeply, keep the head up. Try not to let the arms drop the head. Lift the arms, hands to heart. Carefully spin onto your back tiptoes for crescent. Navel in, weight shift forward, warrior 3. I tend to recommend a light bend in your front leg and then maintain and play with your standing balance. Reach back through your right toes, send your chest forward and drop the right hip. Pick up off the left and step the toes back into crescent, reach the arms up. Turn the toes to face the right edge of your yoga mat. Take your left hand behind the neck. Right hand finds the elbow. Lengthen your chest. Now keep the navel in as you fold forward and come down. Again, if that forearm grounds to your mat, that's fine. Press down. Start to walk the hand a little deeper down the spine. Firm your legs. And inhale, press into the legs, start to lift back up. Open your arms, cartwheel it down, chaturanga, or right into down dog. Take a round or two of breath in down dog. From dog pose, come to the tiptoes. Look forward, step or jump, right into halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise to standing. Reach the arms overhead. Close hands to heart. We're going to work a standing balance here. It's known as standing bow pose. So it's going to be working on opening up the chest and working on the front of the hip. I find this posture to be a little bit restricting, so go, even if it seems subtle and small, just work with what you can. Stand on your left leg and lift your right knee. Draw the ankle back and hold with your right hand. Stage 1, left hand just wraps behind your back, kind of toward the right waist. Stage 2, left hand's going to find that right foot as well. If you have to spin the chest a little bit to do so, go for it. That's okay. Drive back into your right foot. Interlace the hands if you can. Now start to tip the chest all the way forward. Right? Press the foot into the hand. Let your shoulders open. This can be as big or as small as you need it to be. And then come back up and release the right foot. Stand on your right leg. Lift the left knee. Start there just to find a little bit of balance. Then grab a hold onto the ankle, pull it back. Stage 1, right hand just wraps behind. Stage 2, it finds the foot. Again, you might have to work a little bit with your chest for you to grab a hold onto that foot. And then if you can, start to tip the chest forward, press the foot into your hand, send your heart forward and up. Almost kind of like you are a human goblet. And come on back up and release the left foot down. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or jump back, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale back into downward facing dog. Take just a breath or two in here in down dog. And then rock the body forward, find plank. Lower down onto the belly. All right, here on your belly, start to lengthen your legs back. Reach your arms at your sides, turn the palms face up. Press the front of the hip bones down against your yoga mat and point through your toes. As you inhale, lift your chest, lift your hands, and then reach your feet back. So you're going to drive the front hip points down into your mat. You'll feel the lower abdominals push down into your mat. And exhale, return. Rest one cheek onto the ground. Second, locust pose. Look forward. Turn your palms face down. Start with your hands on the ground. Inhale, lift your chest, fly your feet, lift your arms. So backs of the hands are pointing up. Palms are down, squeeze the shoulder blades. And exhale, return. Turn the other cheek down to the earth. Turn the gaze back forward. Send the arms forward alongside the ears. Turn the palms to face one another. Draw the chin down. Now the arms are going to lift up to your head. Your head is not going to go higher than your arms. Exhale. Inhale. Lift the arms, lift the chest, lift your feet, what we call Supermans. Don't let your head come higher than your arms. Think thumbs win. Exhale, lower. Pause for a second on your forehead. Round 2. Strong exhale. Inhale, lift, hold, breathe, reach through the toes, reach through the hands, strengthen the back body. Exhale and return, rest on the forehead. One more time. Strong exhale out. And then third round, reach the toes, reach the hands, inhale and lift, breathe, hold. Exhale and release. Hands go at your sides. Tuck the toes. Press back to table. Sit onto the heels, find Virasana. So if you're sitting on the heels with your knees together, it's more of a Vajrasana. Otherwise, more of a different variation here. Take the feet out wider than your hips and start to sit in between the feet. A modification, sit on a block or sit on a folded up blanket. Take the hands back behind you, turn the fingertips out just a little bit, squeeze the inner thighs, drive down through your shins and start to lift your tailbone, reaching the tailbone forward toward the backs of the knees. Good, and then if all feels well, come on down to your forearms. If this is too much, go back onto your hands, do the first variation. Otherwise, same thing, inner thighs squeeze, hips lift. Tailbone is strongly scooping toward your knees. We're trying to isolate opening up the front of the quads here. Push down through your shins. And if all feels well, you can come down full Supta Virasana all the way onto your back. Again, if this is too much for the knees, come back up to forearms or hands. If you're getting the green light, arms can reach up alongside the ears and you can catch a hold onto opposite elbow. Full Supta Virasana. We don't want the knees flying. We don't want the ankles feeling like they are in pain. We don't want the low back crunching too much. Good. Another breath. Whichever variation of Virasana you are in, start to press up onto the hands. Come back up to seated. Rock forward, step the legs into down dog, immediate counter out of that front body opener just to stretch the back of the knees. We're going to do something a little bit different here that's going to require the use of a wall. If you don't have wall space, you do not have to do this onto a wall. This is just a low lunge that is amplified by the use of a wall. So if you need to pause to move your mat to a wall, we're going to be adjusting our mats to do so. If you are without wall space, you're going to just be doing this variation of a low lunge called King Arthur. Instead of your shin or your foot on the wall, you're just going to hold the shin with your hand. If you do have access to the wall, we recommend either folding up your mat or putting a cushion or like a blanket underneath your knees. It's just a little more comfortable. So what we're going to do is start in sort of a table or lunge pose and just step the left foot forward. Okay, so we're going to open up the front of the right hip. Now we want to get the right shin bone on the wall, vertical on the wall. So you look at your right knee, it'll be on your yoga mat, pointing down, and your right foot and your right shin and right ankle are on the wall. Take a second to find that first. You might even feel your hips press up against your heel, those of you who have a lot of mobility. Now the hands can stay on the knee or on the ground, or those of you who can, arms are going to go up alongside the ears, thumbs to the wall. Tailbone down, front of the hip up, lowest ribs pull down. If all feels well, bend the elbows, hands behind the nape of the neck and palms together, forearms toward the wall, ribs down, tail down, front of the hip lengthens, and then we'll release. Arms up, arms down, slide that leg down, come back in sort of a table pose. Step the right leg forward. I like to walk my left foot up and then come on down. Graciously and beautifully, as though an angel were just dropping a feather down from the heavens. Or like a rhinoceros jumping into a pool. More like it. So again, we might have the hips press back against the heel. Don't stress this one. If your knee is giving you grief, come out, hands to the floor, and just lean forward a little bit. Arms can go up, thumbs can go to the wall. Okay, maybe you bend the elbows and take the hands behind the nape of the neck. But if you're doing so, we want to work front ribs down, tail down, front left hip point up. You're going to hear me say that again and again. That's what we're working. Think about the opening being from your left lower quad, so above the knee, all the way to the arm. Go ahead and return the hands back down. Slide that leg down. Unfold your yoga mat. We're just going to work a down dog after all of that. So if you want to move your mat away from the wall, we will move ours in a moment. Just take a down dog wherever you are, wherever you need to. Now, those of you who are at a wall and want to move your mat away from the wall, go ahead. But because you are at home, if you know that you want to take Shavasana at the wall, you can actually just leave your mat at the wall and practice there. We're going to be working into some back bending here. So let's go ahead and start from the top of our mat. Wherever we are, we're just going to meet up at the top of our yoga mat. Take an inhale, stretch the arms up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. And inhale, lift your chest, plant the hands, Vinyasa or right into down dog. And once in down dog, this is where we might recommend having a strap or a towel. In my case, you'll see me just use my sweatshirt, and that'll work just fine. Okay, so you don't have to have a yoga strap in order to do this. Take the right foot, step it forward into pigeon pose. We're going to do 3 short variations here of pigeon. The first one is just keeping the chest elevated, coming up onto the fingertips, lengthening your left leg back. So you'll want to have that strap or sweatshirt or towel, whatever you got nearby. Curl the back toes under. Lift the left knee off the earth. Draw your tail down, pull the front left hip point up. Ribs in. Lengthen the leg and lower the left knee back down. Stage 2 is mermaid. Right hand stays, left arm swings back, catch a hold of the inside edge of your foot. So think thumb to big toe. Press the foot back into the hand. Open the front of the chest. If you're getting the green light here, so you're either going to stay or you're going to take that strap or sweatshirt, whatever you got, around the right foot. So you'll see me use my sleeves as my strap. Bend the elbow, just like you did in your King Arthur at the wall. Your hands go behind the nape of the neck. Your elbows bend. So we don't want the hands up straight up high. We want elbows bent. Think thumbs walking down your shoulder blades toward your back foot. Squeeze your inner thigh, push the floor away, lift your hips up a little bit higher. Don't just drop your hips on the floor. Take another round of breath. Exhale and release. Someday that foot and your hands are going to come together. Plant the hands, step it on back, find down dog, and just shake it out a little bit. The same thing on your left side. Go ahead, step the left foot forward into your pigeon. Take a second here, come onto the fingertips or blocks. Curl the back toes, and we'll lift the back knee, just finding a little bit of stretch in the front right thigh. And stage 2 is working our full mermaid pose. So lower and lengthen your right thigh down. Right knee will come down. Left hand is going to stay to the mat. Right hand is going to sweep back, catch a hold onto the inner arch of your foot. So we're looking at thumb to big toe here. And press your foot back into your hand, let the chest open. Again, you are welcome to stay and encouraged to stay if in fact you are feeling like you are going beyond where your body can maintain strong and controlled breath. Otherwise, strap, towel, sweatshirt, whatever you got, goes around that back right foot. You're going to bend the elbow, turn your chest forward, lift the elbow up toward the ceiling. Now this can be done just with one hand, with your left hand to the floor and right hand to the strap, or both hands. But start to walk your hands down the strap. All right, try not to let those arms straighten. Let the strap pull the hands back. Exhale and slowly release. Plant the hands and step it back into down dog. Couple breaths here. We're going to come up to the peak of our back bending work now. So we're going to take a couple postures that'll take us up the mountain, down the mountain. So go ahead and come to seated. Now, I would encourage, if you do have blocks or like a big book, and if you have tight front of the hips or tight shoulders, you can absolutely work your wheel pose, those you taking wheel today, with your blocks underneath your feet or underneath your hands at the wall. I'm going to be demonstrating it not at the wall, but if you are using those blocks, I recommend going at the wall. First round, though, is just a bridge. So bend the knees, feet hip width distance, tail forward, shoulder blades rock under, palms at your sides. Inhale, lift your hips, bridge pose. If you do want to go a little deeper, you can catch a hold onto the sides of your yoga mat, work your shoulder blades under a little more, lift your chest a little higher, or you can interlace your hands underneath your spine. It's not about just lifting your hips, it's about lifting the chest as well. Push down into your feet, make your heels active. Now exhale and lower. Second posture is going to be kind of a variation of fish pose and bridge pose. This is called couch. Draw your knees in, find your heels. Toes to the floor, keep your heels lifted. I want you to think about bridge pose here. Okay? Take this one tiny step at a time. Lift your hips, hold your ankles. Press down into your upper arms, start to lift your chest off the mat. Rock forward. Can your knees come forward and touch the earth? Round your back. Let the top of your head come to the floor. If that is too much, regress, please come to bridge. If it is a-okay, arms reach alongside the ears, bend the elbows, find opposite arm. Then release your hands, come on down, scoot your legs back out into that bridge pose, lower your hips. Here's your wheel. So if you want to move your mat, if you need to find your blocks, that's fine. Go ahead. You'll see me using my blocks under my feet. Under the feet, if you tend to have some tightness in your hips, under your hands, if you find you have some tightness in your shoulders, though it varies for everyone. So a wheel pose or another couch pose or just another bridge pose. Exhale, and as you inhale, press down into your feet. In one fluid motion, lift your hips, lift your chest, push down and lift your head all the way. Breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend your elbows. Control as you lower. Pause. Take the bottoms of your feet together and let your knees open out wide. Supta Baddha Konasana. Take a second here just to feel out your breath. All right, knees back up. Feet to blocks or earth, or hands to blocks or earth. Bridge, or second wheel, or another couch pose. Exhale. Inhale, press and lift. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower. Feet together. Knees out wide. If you're at home and it took you a little bit of extra time to set up and you're still up or you haven't come up yet, that's fine. Just go with your breath. Do what you need to do. I'm going to take you through one more. If you are still doing couch, at this point I would encourage you to stick with wheel or bridge. Third and final, wheel or bridge. Exhale. Inhale, press and lift. Hold for 5. Chest back, heart up, legs down. 3, 2, and 1. Lower. Control. Pause. Bottoms of feet together again. Knees out wide. You can set the blocks aside. Now, we are going to come down the mountain. So this is the opposite side of our back bending with that couch pose. One more time. All right, so if you didn't have the chance to really get it the first time, here's your chance to play with it another time. Knees in, find your ankles. Toes to the floor. Heels stay lifted. Now push down into your upper arm like you were coming to bridge. Lift your hips, but start to lift your head, lift your shoulders off the ground, rock your knees forward. Can they touch? Then maybe the very top of the head comes to the floor. Otherwise, just keep the head lifted and take your forearms to the ground. Or arms reach up and overhead, find the opposite elbow. And then exhale, hands come down, hips come down, scooch the feet back out, hips and shoulders and head to the earth. Grab that prop, or if you got a pillow or a blanket nearby, just for a supported bridge pose. We have made it all the way up and all the way down the back bending mountain. Supported bridge, because you did a lot of front body opening. If you want to take the block a little bit higher, if you're working with a pillow or a bolster or just a blanket, it doesn't matter how high it is. What I want you to do just here is to allow some release of the hips. We've done about 45 minutes worth of pretty heavy, very strong work. We're going to work just some counter postures here. Go ahead, lower the hips back down off of your prop and rinse out your legs. Windshield wiper then from left to right a couple times. Draw the knees then into your chest and just kind of rock the knees a little bit. Rolling up to seated. Paschimottanasana, a nice deep seated forward fold. Legs go long. Variation 1, catch a hold onto the big toes. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend your elbows, fold in. Now this first few breaths of Paschimottanasana might feel a little bit restricted. Your spine muscles might be talking to you. So just take this slowly. Every exhale allows you to deepen in a little more. Second variation, catch a hold on the sides of the feet. Take another inhale to lengthen and exhale to fold a little more. Try to relax not only your spine, try to relax your breath and your face muscles as well. Go ahead and lift back up. Rock onto your hips, bend your knees, find Navasana, boat pose. Take a second here just to cultivate that front of the core. I'm going to come into a twist a little bit differently here. Left foot comes down, right foot walks to the outer left knee, turn to your right. Seated twist, simple seated twist. Simple seated twist into a simple hip opener, turn forward. Let your right foot just kind of come on top of the left knee for double pigeon or double pigeon variation. Don't stress the shin bones having to be perfect here. You can just let that left foot relax a little bit. And lift the chest back up, lean back, uncross the legs, Navasana again. Right heel down, left knee crosses over, left foot to the floor. Twist to your left. And then again, turn back forward, let the left foot kind of just lift on top of that right knee. Turn the chest, turn your hips, and take a little fold. Variation on double pigeon. This is just kind of a lazy double pigeon, and I'm okay with that. Not every posture needs to be done with absolute perfection. Sometimes the body just asks for some softness, some compassion, and some gentleness in poses. Go ahead and lift up, lean back, Stretch the legs out. We're going to work variation on inversion. So you can work simple waterfall as you see me demoing right now. A block underneath the hips, legs straight up. For those of you with neck issues, shoulder stands not happening, just take waterfall or just go up to a wall and take legs up at the wall. Those of you working your shoulder stand today, you can either bend the knees or straighten the legs. You're going to draw your legs in with some strength, lift them up toward the ceiling, bend the elbows and take the hands right to your low or middle back. Point your fingers up toward your heels. Okay, hug the elbows in, shoulder blades in. Now, squeeze the inner thighs and point your toes. Shoulder stand should be exactly what it says, a stand on your shoulders, not on your neck, not on your elbows. If you're feeling pain, please come out and find a different variation. Good. Feet should be over your hips. Now, halasana, plow pose. If it is in your practice, control lowering your legs back behind your head. If and only if your toes come all the way to the floor and are comfortable all the way on the floor, release your hands. If your spine is okay with it. If your legs are dangling in the air, please keep your hands to your low back and support your spine. Now control as you roll the hips all the way back down and out. Legs go forward. Look forward. Fish pose. Lift your chest. Top of the head comes to the mat. Look back. Those of you with neck issues are not going to take this posture. You're just going to stay on your forearms. Those of you who can take flying fish are going to hold fish. Lift your legs 45 degrees. Lift your arms, palms together 45 degrees. Strengthen the inner thigh. Strengthen the psoas. And then return. Lengthen your body back out. Bend the knees. Rinse it out one more time. Bend the knees left to right. If you want to move your head just slowly from left to right a couple times, might feel really nice. We're going to prepare for Shavasana, so if you need any last posture, just bringing the knees into the chest, taking happy baby, or taking a short twist. Beauty of you doing this at home is that you do have as much time as you have. So if you do have extra time, any extra postures that you need. When you're ready, simply stretch out and enjoy your rest. If you want to take legs up at the wall, throw a bolster underneath your hips, go for it. We're going to let this video come to a close. So just let yourself drop into sweet, deep rest. As always, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for joining us. Enjoy your rest. Namaste.